Hey guys, Kyle the Death Native Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia Chapter 269. So, yeah, obviously, big thing to talk about with this chapter is that the containment unit broke and Shigaraki is supposedly dead. Which, yeah, I don't think I'm alone when I say I don't buy that shit for a second. There's no way in hell that Horikoshi has basically given Shake Rocky's character so much character development up to this point only to kill him off. Like there is no way in hell that's happening. Like let's be realistic about it. He's not gonna die. Having said that though, I do think one thing I'm. However, said that though, one thing I think is happening is basically is that in terms of Shigaraki's current state, he is going to remain incapacitated for a while, um, and the question just becomes under what circumstances will he awaken? Because right now, given the setup that Horikoshi has presented us here, I'm imagining that I'm imagining that from Shigaraki will largely remain comatose for a good remainder of the arc and maybe a little bit beyond that. But what's going to be happening? What's going to be happening? What's going to be happening throughout that? What's going to be happening throughout like all that time that he's going to be comatose? Is that his body is basically adjusting to the heavy strain of the quirk integration process that he's gone through. And from here, his sheer will is the final push that will allow him to take full control of his power that is now inside of him. And I can personally guarantee that when he wakes up, when Sheik Araki wakes up, it's going to be in a populated area. Like I think that the next time he wakes up, it's going to be in like a hospital or something, and he's and like and his power and when he wakes up. It's going. His power will awaken from Jean Grey Phoenix style, and at that point, at that point, the moment he wakes up in that way, his he's gonna unleash absolute chaos across the city. Like it's one of those things where what Horikoshi's done is he's definitely like subverted what we thought was going to happen, but at the same time it's also still so obvious of how Horikoshi is playing this. Like he's definitely building up. He's truly building up. He's definitely building up Shigaraki as the final boss at this point. So and when the final boss wakes up, that's when he's gonna be at pretty much full power. He's just going to he's going to awaken. Like he's gonna awaken Jean Grey Phoenix style, and his power is just going to go absolute back. He's gonna unleash absolute batshit insanity on Hero Society after that happens. Like again, he's basically gonna turn into like what Jean Grey turned how Jean Grey turned into the Phoenix pretty much. And but yeah, so but yeah, that's kind of how I imagine it's going to happen. Is that Horikoshi is setting up to where when Horikoshi does set up, it is going to be in a populated area, and he's going to just cause mass panic and mass chaos across the hero society at that point. Um, of course, the other big thing with this chapter is that the good doctor has now been captured, and now that it has finally happened, I can't help but feel like okay well, pretty much the doctor is definitely a psychopath and a monster for basically all the atrocities and all the experiments he's committed. But at the same time, I can't help but feel a little tiny minuscule bit of sympathy towards him with this chapter, because really all he was doing was serving someone he believed in. He believed in, but yeah, again, going out that he still does have a lot he needs to answer for just like the various experiments he's performed. And with this chapter, it's almost a certainty we're going to have a lot of those a lot of those a lot of those questions answered, I think. Um, now, oddly enough, the big thing I want to see come from this, obviously, is a confrontation between Izuku and the Doctor. And and oddly enough, the one thing I want to find out isn't whether one thing I want to find out, weirdly enough, isn't whether or not Izuku like has a hidden quirk or not. Like I don't know if we're specifically going to learn if Izuku even had a quirk or not before getting one for all at this point, and I'm slowly wondering if that's even going to happen. But something like for me, oddly enough, one thing that really needs to be addressed with in a confrontation between Izuku and the Doctor is that we need to we need to learn who Izuku's father was. That I feel is a bigger narrative mystery that needs to be explored right now. And if we end up finding out that Izuku had a hidden quirk, that, like pretty much quirk through that reveal, then basically that's pretty much fine too. But like again, the one thing I think that needs to be addressed right now, and it's a perfect opportunity to do that, is who like Izuku's father is. What is if he has any connections to the League of Villains, if he's dead, like just we definitely need to know where Izuku's father, what the current status of Izuku's father is for sure. That's kind of the one thing I think that is on my mind right now. And now one moment I guess I want to talk about is now one moment I want to talk about, weirdly enough, is the moment of in the beginning of the chapter with when we see it when we see Endeavor using his quirk to cauterize Mirko's wounds, which in some ways is really just a common sense application given the scenario, but just seeing him use his quirk in such a way is an interesting bit of development for his character in the sense where he's started to like before, as we all know, when it came to Endeavor's character, he was really just someone who he was a lot like Bakugo in the sense where all he wanted to do was fight villains, and get the glory, all that kind of stuff. But but now with him using his with seeing this and basically and from Endeavor using his power in order to save someone, it's a tiny little bit of development on his part in the sense where he started to realize that his power can be used for more than just fighting villains now, and 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 hopefully there won't be recurring points where he'll have to use his powers like that because I imagine cauterizing a wound has got to be painful, but it's kind of an interesting way from Endeavor being able to indirectly show Shoto that the fire side he's resented so much can be used for good. Like it's definitely an interesting step in the right direction towards like him showing his family that he can do heroic deeds almost. And yeah, one thing that's been made clear through this whole thing for me is that Mike, like obviously both it's been established that both the both like pretty much the both President Mike and Aizawa have different feelings on the whole situation going on right now and what the doctor's done to pretty much Oboro, but the one thing that's been made clear is that Mike specifically is really, you can tell that Mike specifically is really battling some demons, even ever since he learned the possibility that Oboro is Kurogiri. So now that the Doctor's been captured, it's going to be interesting to see where Mike's emotional journey is going to lead him. Because while I don't want to go so far as to say he's acting like a villain or going down the path of villainy, Mike is definitely letting a lot of his emotions rule his actions. So the only question now is how much further is he going to be pushed? Because if he's pushed far enough, he could end up going down a route where he might inevitably end up killing the Doctor at some point. But yeah, it's just going to be really interesting to see where this emotional journey with Mike is going to take him, because he's definitely getting a lot more violent. That much is certain for sure. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Lister Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Enemy, signing off. Later, guys.